Here is the truth nobody in your life will say out loud. You are being read right now. Every time you walk into a room, someone is already calculating, measuring your confidence by how you carry your shoulders, measuring your status by how long you wait before speaking, measuring your desperation by how eagerly you agree. You think you are having a conversation. They are running an assessment. And if you have never been taught to do the same, you have been losing every silent negotiation you have ever entered. Machiavelli understood this in the 15th century with a ruthlessness that still makes people uncomfortable today. He wrote what philosophers were too cowardly to say, what politicians pretended was not true, and what the powerful quietly practiced while publicly denying. He wrote that men are ungrateful, deceptive, and driven by self-interest, that they will love you when it costs them nothing and abandon you the moment loyalty becomes expensive, that words mean nothing without behavior to confirm them, that the prince who survives, who truly thrives, is not the most charming or the most virtuous. He is the most perceptive. Machiavelli did not teach manipulation. He taught sight. And today, you are going to acquire that sight. 9 laws. 9 psychological truths that Machiavelli either wrote directly or would recognize immediately as extensions of his own philosophy. Each one is a lens. Stack them together, and you will never be the last one to understand what is happening in a room. Let's begin. Law 1. Incentives are the only map you need in The Prince. Machiavelli wrote plainly, men will always betray you when it serves them. That is not pessimism. That is the foundational law of human behavior, and once you accept it, you stop being confused by people. Stop asking what someone said. Start asking what they gained. Every interaction has an invisible economy running underneath it. Someone wants access to you. Someone wants your approval to fill a void in their confidence. Someone wants your silence because your voice threatens their position. Someone wants your loyalty because it protects them from a consequence they are quietly terrified of. Your job is to locate the gain. Then ask the second question: what are they terrified of losing? Reputation, control, comfort, the image others hold of them. Once you identify what someone is protecting, you hold the map to every move they will make. Here is the critical rule Machiavelli would stamp on every page. When someone's words and their incentives contradict, the incentives are always telling the truth. Watch what happens when the benefit disappears. Do they stay reasonable, or do they suddenly become wounded? Do they negotiate, or do they rewrite history? Do they accept the change or manufacture conflict to regain control? That precise moment of disruption, that gear shift, is who they actually are. In every room, map 3 things before you say a word: what they want, what they fear, and what they are currently protecting. Strip the conversation down to its economic skeleton. Once you see that the rest is just theater. Law 2. Emotion always escapes before logic arrives. Machiavelli observed that men reveal their nature through reaction, not through declaration. Here was what that means in practice. The first response is always the true one. Everything that follows is management. Before someone decides what reaction is safe, their body has already answered. The micro flinch before the smile, the jaw that tightens while the words stay perfectly composed, the eye that moves left when the answer should be simple, the pause that lasts exactly 1 second too long. That is not nervousness. That is containment. And containment means pressure is being held back, because releasing it would expose something. Machiavelli's rule restated for the modern world: the more composed someone tries to appear, the more information they are withholding. Not always a lie, sometimes a wound, sometimes a hunger, sometimes a resentment that has been carefully managed for months. But something is behind the composure. Always here is a precise field test. Deliver a calm, quiet disagreement. Nothing aggressive, a soft boundary, a measured no, a gentle challenge to something they believe about themselves. Then go completely silent and observe what surfaces. Fast offense, status hunger, immediate guilt tripping, control dressed as emotion, warmth followed by quiet punishment 3 days later, manipulation in professional clothing, sudden confusion and deflection, evasion with experience behind it. The emotional leak is not sentiment, it is intelligence. Their nervous system is confessing what their mouth is carefully withholding. Stop being hypnotized by confident language. Start reading the body when the voice is smooth. Start watching the eyes when the words are kind. The first crack in the mask is always the most honest sentence spoken. Law 3. Status hunger is the puppet string. Machiavelli understood that what men desire above all else is not comfort, not even safety. It is to be seen as powerful. Not to be powerful, to be perceived as it. That distinction is where the puppet string lives. Status hunger announces itself through 1,000 small signals. The name drop inserted into a conversation that did not need it. The correction that served no practical purpose. The ranking question disguised as curiosity. Where did you go? What do you drive? Who do you know? These are not questions. They are ladders being measured against you. Watch the behavioral shift. The moment someone decides you rank below them, they sharpen. The moment they decide you rank above, they soften. That oscillation, predictable as a clock, is the tell. Now here is the sharpest Machiavellian diagnostic available. Watch how someone treats a person who cannot benefit them. The waiter, the junior employee, the quiet stranger, the person in the room with no leverage to offer. That interaction, the one with nothing to gain, is the unedited autobiography. The strategic response to status hunger is stillness. You do not defend your value. You do not enter their invisible competition. You do not explain your credentials or attempt to move on their internal ladder. You simply decline to participate in the frame. And what cannot be ranked cannot be controlled. What cannot be controlled, Machiavelli knew, eventually becomes feared. Law 4. Accusation is always autobiography. This is one of Machiavelli's sharpest psychological insights translated into modern behavior. What someone repeatedly accuses you of is almost always what they practice in private. A person who deceives is preoccupied with detecting deception. A manipulator sees manipulation everywhere they look. A person quietly consumed by selfishness will eventually cast you as the selfish one because it redistributes the guilt and protects their self-image simultaneously. They are not reading you. They are recognizing themselves. The clinical term is projection. Machiavelli's term would simply be confession without confession. They can only suspect behavior they already understand. They can only recognize patterns they already run. So when someone keeps assigning you a motive, study that motive carefully. It is the one they carry. Watch also how they interpret neutral behavior. You go quiet, they call it arrogance. You set a limit, they call it disrespect. You succeed, they call it luck rather than effort. These are not misreadings. They are a window directly into their internal hierarchy. The Machiavellian reader's response: do not argue with the story they are constructing. Do not over-explain. Do not defend. Pleading is data, it tells them your pressure point. Instead, stay minimal. Stay observational. Let them speak. Let them accuse. Let them define. Because every word they direct at you is a page from their own history. Read it. File it. Never let them know you just learned more about them than they intended to share. Law 5. Patterns are proof. Promises are theater. Machiavelli was not moved by declarations. He was moved by evidence, specifically by what men did repeatedly across time when the audience had gone home. A pattern costs something real. It costs consistency across different pressures, different moods, different levels of comfort and inconvenience. That cost is exactly what makes it credible. Anyone can be loyal for a week. Anyone can be generous when they want something. Anyone can maintain their integrity when it is easy. The Machiavellian question is simple. What do they do when the reward is removed? What do they do when they are stressed, bored, slightly rejected, or only mildly inconvenienced? That behavior, unglamorous, unrehearsed, not performed for anyone, is the complete picture. Collect samples. One event is noise. 2 events is a coincidence. 3 repeats is character. Do not let emotion accelerate your conclusion. Build the case file slowly and let the evidence reach its own verdict. And when you name the pattern, when you say clearly, "This has now happened again," watch the response closely. A person of integrity acknowledges it and changes their behavior. A manipulator attacks your perception, calls you paranoid, questions your memory, says you are being too sensitive, too dramatic, too focused on the negative. That is not disagreement. That is the pattern protecting itself. They do not want it named, because a named, documented pattern is an argument they cannot win. Stay factual. Stay composed. Do not give them emotion to play with. Give them only the sequence of events. That is Machiavellian leverage, not aggression, but clarity they cannot dismantle. Law 6. Power does not create character. It excavates it. Machiavelli stated in The Prince what every person eventually learns from experience. Judge no one in comfort. Judge them in position. Give someone a small promotion. Give them a little authority over others, a little public recognition, a little leverage. Then step back and watch without interfering. The person who was always decent becomes more generous with it. The person who was always entitled drops the performance entirely because pretending is no longer necessary. Power does not transform people. It simply makes the mask optional. This is why the fastest character profile you will ever build on someone requires only one thing. Remove the incentive to perform. Watch what surfaces when they believe they no longer need to impress you. Machiavelli's test: precise and uncomfortable. Gently remove their control. Decline something. Delay a response without explanation. Say no quietly and without apology. The right person pauses, recalibrates, and respects it. The wrong person escalates, punishes through withdrawal, manufactures consequences, quietly restructures their treatment of you to reflect what you just denied them. That escalation is the unedited truth. They believe power is ownership. They believe access to you is a debt you owe. They believe compliance is tribute. Once you see it clearly, you do not argue with it. You do not confront it loudly. You adjust proximity, quietly and without announcement. You tighten what they can reach. That is not revenge. That is architecture. That is what Machiavelli meant when he wrote that the wise ruler controls his environment before his environment controls him. Law 7. Behavior is the only biography that matters. Words are free. They cost nothing to produce and nothing to deliver. I respect you. I would never betray you. You are different from everyone else I have known. Machiavelli had no use for declarations. He had use for outcomes. For what actually happened, recorded without sentiment, observed without flattery. Behavior under pressure is the only document worth reading carefully. When something collapses, who stays disciplined? When someone is criticized, who becomes curious about the mistake and who attacks the person who named it? When temptation appears, who holds the line and who sells their integrity for a moment of ease? That is where performance ends. That is where character stands without costume. Here is Machiavelli's hardest rule restated without softening. When someone repeatedly causes damage and calls it love, the love is a story. The damage is the truth. When someone repeatedly disrespects and calls it humor, the humor is the delivery mechanism. The disrespect is the content. When someone repeatedly disappears and returns with elaborate explanations, the explanation is a fog machine. The pattern of disappearance is the message. 3 behavioral signals that expose almost everyone, applied patiently over time. Reliability: do they honor their word when honoring it costs them something real? Accountability: when they cause harm, do they own it directly, or do they immediately become the victim of your reaction to it? Consistency: are they the same person when they want something from you as they are when they do not? When confronted with evidence of their own behavior, the deflecting person has one reliable response: "Why are you doing this to me?" That sentence is not confusion. It is a tactical redirect. They want you emotional, so you stop being precise. They want to fight something loud and messy because a fight is easier to win than a fact. Give them neither. Keep it simple. Keep it grounded. This is what happened. This is the sequence. Then go quiet and watch their next move. That next behavior, unscripted, unrehearsed, produced under the pressure of being seen clearly, is the final and definitive answer about who you are dealing with. Law 8. Attention exposes every secret appetite. Machiavelli wrote that men's desires are insatiable, they want endlessly, and that wanting leaves tracks everywhere. Attention is the most honest currency a person spends, because they spend most of it involuntarily. Watch where someone's focus lands without effort. Not where they claim to be focused, where their eyes actually move when they believe no one is tracking. What they cannot stop referencing. What irritates them with a speed that suggests deep familiarity. What they mock in others with an energy that feels personal. Envy maps desire. Mockery maps insecurity. Obsession maps hunger. A person studying your reactions closely is not curious about you. They are building a file on you. They are locating the pressure points. They are identifying what moves you, what flatters you, what unsettles you, because that information has value to them. Connect attention to desire, and desire to prediction. A person always moves toward what they want. Once you know what that is, you know their trajectory before they have consciously chosen it. That is Machiavellian foresight. Not reading the move being made, but reading the move about to be made. The full Machiavellian code here is everything Niccolo Machiavelli would say to you if he had 5 minutes and no patience for softening. Stop trusting stories. Start reading signals. Incentives expose motive, strip every interaction to its economic skeleton and ask what they gain and what they fear losing. Emotion leaks first. Trust the first reaction, not the composed performance that follows it. Status hunger is the puppet string watch who needs to be seen winning, who ranks, who tests, who cannot let a perceived slight pass without a response. Projection is confession. What they keep accusing you of is a map of their own interior. Patterns are the only evidence. 1 incident is noise, 3 repeats is character, and character is what someone does when no one is applauding. Power excavates the person. Watch who they become when the audience disappears and the performance is no longer necessary. Behavior is the biography, especially under pressure, especially when criticized, especially when the word no enters the room. Attention exposes appetite. What they track, envy, mock, and cannot stop referencing is what they truly want. Everyone has a price. Learn the currency, map the pattern, and you will never be blindsided by a betrayal you could have predicted months earlier. This is not paranoia. This is not coldness. This is the discipline Machiavelli spent his entire intellectual life building and defending: the capacity to see human nature with absolute clarity, to stop flinching from what is true, and to move through the world with the calm, unshakable advantage of a person who sees first. The untouchable person is not the loudest in the room. He is not the most charming or the most feared. He is the one who observes without reacting, who maps without revealing, who decides without being rushed, and who adjusts access and proximity as a quiet, private act of self-protection. He is not surprised by what people do. He anticipated it. He does not get pulled by guilt, seduced by flattery, paralyzed by aggression, or softened by manufactured urgency. He holds the frame. He controls the pace. He chooses who gets close and at what distance everyone else remains. That is what Machiavelli was actually teaching. Not how to manipulate, but how to remain free in a world full of people who would prefer you or not. From this moment forward, you stop being the one who gets surprised. You become the one who already knew. If this changed how you see the room you are sitting in right now like this, subscribe and drop one word in the comments. Just one word describing what you now see that you did not see before. The next lesson covers the Machiavellian principle that the most powerful people in history used to make themselves impossible to replace. It will make certain people very uncomfortable. Stay sharp.